Oh, it's April 7, 2024. I'm Todd Dunn, and today I'm out for a short afternoon walk. So, I'm just going to walk around the neighborhood and see what there is to see. So, let's get going. I'm going to start this walk by walking down to the end of the road. This road only has about 7 or 8 houses on it. When we bought our house, the road ended at our house, which was one of the attractions to the house. But now the road extends past our house, which is where I'm going now. And we'll take a look at what's down here. Right now, there's sort of 2.5 houses down here. I say 2.5 because there are 2 completed homes. The newer of those homes has been here for about 18 years. And the older one has been here for 24 years. And the half home is still under construction. So we'll walk down, see what things look like. Strangely, today, my left ankle hurts. Now, my knee replacement was on the right knee, so I don't know why my left ankle hurts, but it's been bothering me all day. Back here is the house that's under construction. You can see it back there. It's a couple hundred feet from the road, and they have the roof on the back side of the house finished, but the weather got too cold last fall to finish the front, so they kind of stopped and haven't restarted yet. And down here, got a couple more houses. Ooh. I see the neighbor here has a tree down on his driveway, and he hasn't gotten out to cut it up completely, which is a little unusual. He's usually very proactive about that sort of stuff. It's his home back there. And this tree fell down across his driveway. He cut it enough that he can get out. And then there's one more house here. And you can't really see it without going onto their property. But it's back there through the trees. And there's a little pond that it sits next to. Okay, so let's head back out. I should point out that you cannot see any of the neighbors' houses from mine. The minimum lot size here is 1 acre, and only 2 houses on this road are on 1 acre lots. We have 1.25 acres. You can see my house through the woods there a little bit, and my workshop there. So, the houses are pretty well spread out. The biggest lot here on the road, I think, is 3 acres. So the space is good because everybody here is on a private well and has a septic system. The town of Tremont does not have town water or sewer, which is probably one of the reasons that the cost of living here is pretty low, because I don't get a water bill other than what it costs me to run my well, and my only sewer bill is about every 5 years I pay $250, $300 to have the septic cleaned out. But that's it. The utilities we have are telephone, because we have essentially no cell service here. I don't know if it's apparent in the video, but it's uphill to the west, which is the way we're facing. And the nearest cell tower is several miles away to the west. And there's a ridge up there, and the crest of the ridge is a little bit higher than our house, so that cell signal, which is line of sight, can't get here from the tower. I do get a little bit of signal up on the 3rd floor if I hold the phone up, but none anywhere else. So we have a landline, and which costs something like $33 a month. We just have a local service. We do not have long distance on our landline. And we have cable internet, which is up there, and electricity. Right now, the electric company is charging us just under 28 cents a kilowatt hour for our power. But I think on July 1st, we're supposed to have a rate hike up to about 31 cents. So electricity is not a bargain here. We also do not have time of day rates. It doesn't matter when you use the electricity, it costs the same. Now, internet, which we do have, is very expensive. This is our closest neighbor's driveway to the west. There are 2 houses back there. There's a new one, which is under construction, and an older house, which is not that old. It's only about 5 years old. And then up here, there's a house. I don't know if you can see it through the trees over there. It's a little bungalow, about an 800 square foot bungalow, quite small. And they have a 2-car garage with an apartment over it that they rent out. Now, the house itself is a summer home, and the people that own it are not here. And the apartment, though, is occupied year-round. And this tree fell across the road onto their property, and they have not done anything to clean it up, largely because the owners are not here. Then we have another house up here. Now, before we get there, I'll get back to internet. Right now, our internet from Spectrum, which is the only supplier out here, is $85 a month. But it's pretty fast. It's about 300 to 400 megabits per second. And every year it seems to get a little faster. So we're quite happy with that. And here's the next neighbor's house. Just a little bungalow there, 2-bedroom bungalow. And that house is a summer rental. Right now the owners are actually using it. I think so they can maintain use of the house should they decide to sell it. And that house rents for, I think it's about $2,000 a week in the summer. It's just a 2-bedroom bungalow, but it's on a 3-acre lot. Keep going. So cost of living here isn't bad. Total cost for utilities runs, $120, about $55 a month for electricity, so $175. On a pro rata basis, about $5 a month for the septic system, and so $180. And then there's property taxes. Property taxes are the big expense. And on our house, they run around $4,000 for the year. And so that's about, let's say, $340 a month. So we're looking at about $520 a month to live here. We, of course, have no mortgage, having bought the house for cash 25 years ago. And here's the next house, neighbor's house. And he's got his travel trailer out there, which is for sale. It's a Cougar something or other. I don't know exactly which model. He's had it for about 2 years. And then there's one more house. And that's it for our road. And this is a private road, which is maintained by the people who live here. Every few years, we get together, have the road graded, and put some new gravel on it. And that's about it. So it's a very inexpensive place to live. As I said, for us, about $520 a month. We could not rent anything pretty much anywhere for that, and certainly nothing comparable. I don't know what a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home rents for now, but I suspect it's more than $520 a month. Now, that said, let's look. This next house is a little hard to see. It's back through the woods. You can probably just make it out back there. That's the last house on the road before we get out to the town road. But as I said, this is an inexpensive place to live if you own your home. Now, if we were to buy our house now, given what the insurance company thinks it would cost to rebuild my house and the value of a fully developed lot, our house would probably cost you in a $750,000 range now, and that would be inexpensive for this area. So it would cost a big chunk of money to move here. It would be difficult for me to justify it now if I was trying to move here, unless, of course, the house I sold provided me with a big chunk of capital. Now, I should point out the other neighbor. That's here. The woods here. The woods here, all the way over to the ocean, which is about 200 yards away that way, is Acadia National Park. And this is an undeveloped part of the park, with the exception of the Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse, which is at the end of this road here. So, they have no plans to develop this part or the part between our house and the beach. So it's pretty, they're pretty quiet neighbors. We really don't have much to do with them. except that every now and then a park ranger comes down and asks if he can park at the edge of my driveway so they can go into the woods there to check things. But that's about it. The only other interaction we have with Acadia National Park is, as soon as this car goes by, is down there. That is the road to the Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse. It's about 300 yards down there, the way the road runs, to the lighthouse. The Bass Harbor Head Lighthouse is one of the most visited places in Acadia National Park. Okay, I got interrupted by some tourists from Tennessee. Used to be that this time of year there wouldn't be anybody here, but now all year there are tourists coming down to the lighthouse. And in the summer, on nice days around sunset, it is not unusual for cars to be backed up all the way from the lighthouse out here onto the town road and back that way quite a ways. And they have no issue with blocking the road, and which can make it a little annoying if you need to get home or you want to leave. And surprisingly, you see the sign. Up until a few years ago, we had a lot of trouble with people parking alongside the road on both sides and leaving just enough room to get a car through, but only one way. So the town put these signs up for us, and it's not unusual in the summer to come out here and find a car parked where I'm standing now with that sign right in front of them. And I have occasionally stopped when I've seen somebody sitting in their car out here and pointed that out to them, and they always seem surprised. So anyway, that's our neighborhood. There are about half a dozen houses on the west side of this road here, and they're all waterfront homes. It's about 200 yards down to the ocean this way. This is a point, if you will. So we'll walk up here a little and we'll take a look at why we had a power outage during the storm on Thursday. There goes another tourist out of state. So it's a big issue here. Now, I can say that when we moved here 25 years ago, the national park was much less busy than it is now. Now, Acadia National Park has been averaging around 4 million visitors a year for the last few years. When we moved here, visitation was way under 2 million. And oh yeah, it was a little crowded in some places, but not that bad. Okay, so this is why we lost power on Thursday. Those are the power lines, and you can see 2 trees fell up against the power lines. One broke off over there and was on the power line, and the other one just blew over, and it's currently being supported by the phone line. So at some point the phone company might come out here and trim that back, although I kind of doubt it. And the town probably Monday or Tuesday will come and cut this tree back so it isn't extending out over the road anymore. So that's one of the issues with living down here. It is not unusual for us to lose power during a windstorm. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. And we'll get another look. You can see that tree was the one that hit the power line and broke it, I think. And the other tree is still propped up on the phone line. Okay, there goes another tourist headed down the road to the lighthouse. It is Sunday afternoon, which is a very popular time for tourists to come down here all year. And if I walked down there, I would probably find 15, 20 cars down there. And it's pretty busy. About the only time you can go down there now and not find anybody is early in the morning, midweek, in say January, February. And as we get into March and April, the tourism kicks in, which is interesting because there are very few places here on the island that are open yet. And almost no restaurants and only a few hotels. And all of the campgrounds are closed for the season and won't open up until late May at the earliest. Now, another out-of-state tourist leaving the lighthouse. And it's pretty busy. So I'm going to head home. This will have been about a 3/4 mile walk by the time I get home. So not a particularly arduous walk, but a pretty typical one for me. So that kind of wraps up my little daily walk here, and just wanted to give you a little bit of information about my neighborhood and how much it costs to live here. As I said, it's pretty reasonable if you own your home. If you don't own your home, on the other hand, it can get very, very expensive if you have to buy a place. There are no rental properties for long term. You can rent by the week, but $2,000 a week is a little steep. And there's no place you can rent longer term. So you have to buy, and right now, I just looked this morning, the cheapest house listed for sale in Tremont, Maine, which is the western part of the island that includes Bass Harbor, is listed for $859,000. And there are several houses. They're over $1 million. I think the high one is about 1.8. So buying here for the vast majority of people is simply impossible. And I'll do a video about the cost of living in more detail, maybe later tonight. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you found it interesting.